Yeah, so actually, one of the reasons why I started was because of COVID-19. So I usually have extra income from going to comic conventions and selling artwork there. I'm sure there's comic conventions in everywhere, like in China and Japan especially as well. So those are actually very good outlets to make money, by the way. However, as you would imagine, because of the pandemic, I knew for sure right off the bat that, oh no, we're gonna lose that income source now. So I had an idea before COVID where I would just make online tutorials on ArtStation and Gumroad. And I was gonna plan to do it like maybe this year, or like later into 2020. But because of the pandemic, I knew I had to start immediately, even if I felt like I wasn't ready. Which and I completely understand. Like you mentioned, your friends, they're really good, but they don't want to do it because they might be a little bit insecure about their ability and stuff. But for me, I was really insecure as well, and I still am. Like I'm still going to have days where I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? How am I a professional, right? Like there's some days it just doesn't work out. So, but either way, like because of the pandemic, I had to jump in no matter what. I didn't care if I wasn't ready or something. I had to figure something out, and that's really how I started. And eventually, people resonated with the tutorials. So I was like, hey, maybe I could just keep continuing to do this. And yeah, and now we're here. So I have like 20 something tutorials later. I'm here.
That's a lot of tutorials, actually. How was the first reception? It was better than you expected. It was, I don't know. Usually the first one doesn't go that well, but it's like your expectations are zero. So as long as one people buy, it's like, okay, can keep doing this.
Yeah, like it actually was way better than I thought. The first few tutorials I made actually sell quite a bit and still sell quite a bit. To my surprise, because I wasn't like for me, I was just thinking, oh, I'm just gonna mess around. Like, given that I'm not going to have comic conventions to rely on, I need to just maybe just sell whatever I can and make as much money as I can, no matter what. But it turns out that people actually do like my tutorials, and I was really shocked and appreciative of everybody who supported me, and to this day as well. And it's just one of those things where sometimes you need to just jump into the pool at the deep end and hope that you can swim. And in this case, it worked out.
Yeah, it's just doing it without thinking. If you think too much, you just get paralyzed.
Yep.
Have you seen an increase in your tutorials as time goes, where you increase your number of followers, both in ArtStation or any other social media? Have you seen a relationship between that?
There's always going to be correlations. I don't know if it's just because of the number of fans, but just having more tutorials out. Like I have tutorials for basically different topics. One of my gimmicks is the coffee grind tutorial, meaning for the price of a coffee, you can learn like one concept of art, and it's affordable, and that's really what I try to push. So whenever I create more of these tutorials, there might be somebody who was like, oh, I didn't buy that one, but because you're talking about this stuff, then I'm going to purchase that instead, right? So like there's a billion things you can talk about in art. So I'm not going to hit everything immediately, but as I create more tutorials, more people are purchasing because I have more of a selection, if that makes sense.
It does.